music fans, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Coda Country Chats, the special edition called Coda Country Catchup. And on this episode, we have Will Jones joining us in studio.
Yeah.
What is up, Will?
What's up, Coda?
Oh my gosh.
Not much. All kinds of fun stuff. Just hanging out here at the house in Nashville. We got a weekend off the road. And so I'm hanging around doing a bunch of stuff, playing catch up on dad and husband duties.
Yes.
And yeah.
That's so
doing
nice,
good.
though. Yeah, just having that time to like spend, on your own with your family, loving life. Because I'm sure
Yeah.
like it gets to be, I don't want to say overwhelming because that's what you love to do, but at the same time, like
Yeah.
it's nice to just have some peaceful time,
It is good for the soul. It
For
is.
sure. And probably some really good writing material too. I don't know about you, but sometimes like the best songwriting sparks come when I'm just like finally not in that like in that setting where I have to sit down and songwrite. So I don't know about you if that happens to you or not, but
It
I don't
does.
know.
My off days are when I get all my ideas. And so I try to do something to encourage those. If it's working on my old truck or if it's like, I got to get out on the river. I got to go fishing for the first time. I'm an avid fisherman. But ironically enough, when you're in the lifestyle that we live as country artists, you don't get to do, where I am right now. I had realized I went out with my buddy Win Varble, who's a legendary songwriter here in town.
Yeah.
And he called me last week and he said, Will, he said, we're writing on Tuesday, right? I said, yeah. And he said, it's supposed to be really nice Tuesday. And I said, where do you want to meet at? And he said, meet me down in Columbia. So we jumped on the Duck River and did some smallmouth fishing from his boat all day. And we wrote a song too. But you need those days and you need that time so you can get good song ideas and just a little family time too, which you might see my crazy 2-year-old who is adorable. You might see her run through that back door back there into my studio space here when they get home. So
well, good. I hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe she can come say hey.
She would love to, I'm sure.
That's so great to hear about, writing and what a great idea to get, some fishing into. That's pretty smart. So let's talk a little bit. One of the things I really wanted to talk about this week was your newest song that just released, Come On In.
Yep.
It's a part of an EP that you have started. Let's chit chat a little bit about that song specifically, and then we'll get into more about the music you have coming for it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd love to. I love that song. For anybody that hasn't heard it, go check it out. It's a song called "Come On In."
Oh, it's
that I
such
wrote
a banger.
with.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I wrote that with Wyatt McCubbin and Eric Dillon, who are a couple of songwriting veterans here.
Yes.
And good buddies of mine. And it's always fun whenever you land something like that you love, that you cut and single release it. Especially with people like Wyatt and Eric. I go way back with Wyatt, back to the bluegrass scene. And so I'm such a fan of both those guys. And it's just a big, up-tempo, rowdy, kind of a Big Al Anderson meets Dwight Yoakam, honky-tonk song. And I just love it. So it's called "Come On In." It's about getting hunted down by a woman who's out to come find where you're at. And we had a lot of fun with not only the song and recording it and the production, but we had a ton of fun with the content of it because we partnered up with my buddy Zach Knudsen in town, and we did a music video that Vivo picked up. And so if we got anybody that follows like Vivo and all of that, you can check the music video out there. But I said to him, I was like, this is what we need to do. I said, we need to get my wife involved in this video because I didn't, I'm not the kind of guy that is super comfortable with just grabbing another woman up in an intimate like music video, that ain't my wife.
Right.
And I didn't really want like to have actors do it. And I was like, man, it would be so funny and fun if we got my wife to do it with me, Kristen. And we are currently expecting our second child. So my wife, Kristen, is like uber pregnant. She's due December the 5th. So she is largely pregnant right now. And it's really funny. So I was like, okay, let's just film this music video like Quentin Tarantino style, up close and funny and quirky, and she's going to be hunting me down. And so go watch the music video. It's her,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the payoff, there'll be a really funny payoff. It's as if I've like knocked her up, and it's a few months down the road because she's actually pregnant, and
Is she
so it's
actually?
really fun. So
Yeah.
we're having so much fun. Not just the music we're writing and recording, but the content that we're doing for all the music. Yeah, I'm having the most fun I've ever had, I think, since moving to Nashville right now, just in everything. Like everything we're doing is fun.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Yeah,
Talk to me about how long did it take for you? How long did it take to write the song? How long did it take to get the song in the studio,
sure.
get the song recorded? I want to know the full timeline of how long it took.
Sure. It's an interesting process that, I have people ask me about it all the time from a songwriting
Mhm.
standpoint and just in general if I'm doing podcast interviews or anything like this. But I love to talk about it because it's kind of a behind the curtain look at what we're doing all the time. So we wrote that song in a day. We sat down and wrote it in a day, as we do a lot of times. Sometimes we might write a song, and there's sometimes we might get it halfway done and finish it at another
Mhm.
time. You just never know. But that
Yeah.
song came to us pretty quick and easy, and it felt really good. Got it done, and then you go into listening to all these songs you've been writing this year. Um, we've written some of my favorite songs yet,
Yes.
and so I was like, man, I really want just a fun, light, up tempo, honky tonk song to put out
Yeah.
as my next single. We had released Lonesome Dove, and
Mhm.
I was like, man, people need something they can dance to and have a good time to. So we came up with Come On In. We got in the studio, recorded it with my buddy Rob McNelly, who's a legendary session guitar player here in Nashville. If any guitar nerds are out there, they'll know who Rob McNelly is.
Yeah.
And he's a good buddy of mine. We cut it at his studio, and it was just me and him and the band. Um, we had our buddy Cliff Aldridge, who is kind of helping A&R the stuff, and so it was really fun because recording this stuff in that format is almost like being in class without the teacher around, and there's like no rules. So when we get in there,
Yes.
I'm playing all the acoustic guitar. Sometimes I'll put some electric stuff, but with Rob in the room, I'll let him do that, and I'll play all the acoustic guitar you hear on the track, and we just track it down live with the band. It's really fun. It's like super exciting. Everybody's trying crazy things, and when you listen to the tracks, I really love anything that's like super drivey, high energy, but I love quirky stuff in there. And like the
Yes.
intro of that song alone is a lick, that Rob had come up with, and it's just this
Mhm.
quirky honky tonk guitar, thing. It's
Yeah.
awesome. So we did that, and then it goes into it takes 3 or 4 weeks to get it all uploaded, and we do the
Yeah.
single art, we shoot in the content, we have all the stuff match each other, and then it's ready for a release. So there's usually about a 4 to 6 week process,
Yeah.
minus the recording of it that goes into every one of these singles. So we're all rooting for them to do good or at least get out to and people enjoy them because we put a lot of work behind them.
For sure. You mentioned Lonesome Dove, and I
Yeah,
will say too, for the listeners who haven't heard either or
yeah,
single, they're very contrasting, like we just talked about. Come
yeah,
On In is very honky tonk driven, very fun, very upbeat. Lonesome Dove's a little more reflective.
yep.
Talk to me about, like, is this from a personal experience? Talk to me about the song itself.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I end up writing is like very reflective. It's a lot of it moving forward, even as people will hear in the upcoming singles that we have planned. A lot of it reflects personally on me, and a lot of it reflects personally on just the music that I like and I love.
Yeah.
And I'm a very free spirit and a very free guy when it comes to how I approach all that stuff. Lonesome Dove is just what I consider. It's one of my favorite songs that I've ever been a part of writing, and it,
Mhm.
it came from being inspired by the Western series Lonesome Dove. Um,
Yeah.
and we got to talking. We were like, I wrote that with Dan Wilson, Lee Starr, and Davis Corley, and of course, Lee and Davis have had a big hand in a lot of my songs.
Yeah.
Um, but we were talking about like what would Gus McCrae actually say to Lori Darlin if he was in a bar with her, alone, and it kind
Yeah.
of grew into this big thing of, hey, there's so many people out there that go out to a show or go out to a bar or go out on a Friday night by themselves. They're single. maybe they're widowed, maybe they're in just some unfortunate, or they want to be that way,
All right.
chosen like position socially.
Yeah.
And I
Hmm.
was like, man, what's a better statement than to say like, it ain't always looking for love. It ain't always
Yeah.
someone who's trying to like plan out the next 20 years. Maybe just for a couple minutes, you can dance and like have a beer, and you ain't got to be lonesome, Dove. It's just a really lighthearted, fun, classic country music song that I love. So that's my song, Lonesome Dove. And in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of things, I always want like a good old fashioned ballad country music song. But even that song has got, quite a bit of movement to it, and it's got a
It does.
positive message. It's not like super
Yeah.
sad, which I like sad country
No.
with the rest of them, but it's feel good. So
Yes.
it kind of made sense to release Lonesome Dove and then release like a big old honky tonk, high energy song.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
So, knowing that these two are like the most recent singles that you have, um, and I see that they're kind of already grouped. Like if I look on
Yeah.
Spotify and I pull them up, they're a part of like an EP.
Yeah.
Um, how many more singles do you think you're going to release before the EP is finished?
It's a tough call because for me, I'm such a rebellious individual that I look at it and I say, is it an EP or is it an album? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Right now, we're cruising along with the single release, and we'll do that through the end of the year. And I know
Yeah.
we have another song even planned, possibly already for
Ooh,
the first part of next year. So we're looking at
wow.
from here through maybe January,
Hmm.
and yeah, I don't know until it feels right. The great position that I'm in right now, which is kind of makes me sit back and think, is it reflects on where I'm at in my life.
Hmm.
I've ended up with so many great songs this year. It's been
Yeah.
maybe the most productive creative year I've ever had. And so I'm sitting on more great songs than I know what to do with, which is awesome. And
It
so I don't
is.
know if it's probably just release singles for the next several months through the first of the year, and then make a game plan of if we want to release it as a full project album with some other stuff that I've
Yeah.
got, and go from there. But right now, we're just concentrating on consistently giving everybody music every few weeks and tons of fun content to go along with it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's where we're at.
I love that though. It's nice to keep the fans hooked. I feel like
Yeah,
sometimes I don't want to say that artists like starve their fans for music sometimes,
sure.
but if you wait like album to album, it's kind of hard sometimes to just, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know,
I like the idea of kind of giving them something. Go ahead.
yeah, I kind of want to keep people. I kind of want to keep people excited about what we're doing, and I want them to
Yeah.
feel the way I feel about the music, and that is like I'm ready to share it with them, and I want to give it to them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I would. My ultimate goal is to release a full album, and maybe writing. It feels like that's where we're headed right now,
Hmm.
with this stuff that we're releasing. And
Yeah.
for me, yeah, it's just constantly. I get pushback all the time because there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so much we can get done. But I'm a workaholic. I'm up
Yeah.
every day early, and I'm working all the time. And I'm always saying like, let's give them this version acoustic. Let's like give them this song, even if it's this
Yeah.
version or whatever. And so I know we got some plans for that stuff too before the end of the year. It's just giving people as
Fun.
much as I can give them.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I don't remember if I mentioned this before whenever we first started the call, but it's been almost 2 years since we first had our conversation. It was like December of
Crazy.
2023. I know and there's been a lot of things that have happened for you. Let me ask you this, and this
Yeah.
is mainly a question to answer for like the listener who may not understand how this works. Um,
Sure.
there on social media, there's a post from Music Row, I think, where you've signed with William Morris, Lady Luck, and Blue Harbor. So, for like the average
Yeah.
human who doesn't know much about music industry, can you describe how those three separate entities, companies, however you want to like form it or think about it,
Yep.
work with you to get your music out, book touring, you know, A&R? How does that work for you in your career?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, first of this year, I was with the last time we talked. I can't even remember what all was going on. I was
I
signed.
know.
I think I was signed to my first publishing deal at Universal then.
That makes
Um,
sense. Okay.
and then I was getting ready. If I hadn't yet, had I toured with John Party, and I don't know if I've been on all those tours yet or
It
not.
was just about to happen. Yes, it
Yeah.
was John Party, Ashley McBride.
Yep.
We'll get into that too. Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So, but first of this year, I signed a new deal, and it's a joint venture deal with Lady Luck in Blue Harbor, William Morris. So, to break that down from a publishing standpoint, which is for,
Mm-hmm.
who are writing our songs or handling all our catalogs or booking our rights and all of that, it all
Yeah,
starts with publishing in this business
yeah.
and songwriting because the song is the most
Mm-hmm.
important part. So
Yeah,
I have like two teams, you could call it, working with me.
yeah.
I've got Steve Markland's company, new company, Blue Harbor, which is
Cool.
he's incredible. The whole team is like incredible. And then
Yes.
I've got Lady Luck. So I've got both of these companies helping me with um, my rights, with songs that I'm not going to cut. They're pitching those songs. And I have two teams working on behalf of me. They're helping kind of A&R this stuff that we're recording right now, and also
Yeah,
kind of helping with what you would call artist development, but that really kind of goes into getting the songs recorded and looking at overall visions there from a grassroots perspective of what we're building here.
yeah.
So yeah, I have both of those teams working with me in a joint venture,
Cool.
and then I did a sign with William Morris, which is a booking agent, and they
Yeah.
exclusively handle, uh, booking you shows. I mean, William Morris also does acting. And, I mean,
Huge.
they're an
Yeah.
agent for not only acting roles but booking shows and all this stuff. They're massive, and I partnered up with my agent over there, Carter Green and Jay, and just a really great team to have in as far as the booking goes. And then, yeah, since then, really this year, I feel like since I talked to you last, this is kind of the first time at being in Nashville that I have like a full team assembled in
Yeah.
a way of full of people that I just absolutely love who are champions of what I do. And it feels really good because the first time we talked, I was getting ready to get thrown into the deep end on some massive tours, and I didn't have a tour
Yeah.
manager, a manager. All I had was some help from an agent, my agent, and it was like getting ready to get real Western real quick. So I learned, I have had all kinds of crazy experiences since we talked last and really great ones. But yeah, this year we've got our full team kind of put around us and we're full steam ahead. It feels really good. It's exciting.
Full steam
Yeah.
ahead. Let's talk about some of those performance opportunities.
Yeah.
Josh Turner,
Yeah.
John Party, Ashley McBride.
Yeah.
I also see that you're going to do Boots in the Park. I guess that's in October this year.
Yep.
Um, let's talk a little bit about some tour stories. I feel
I
like you
love
have
it.
some really great things to talk about on tour.
That's yeah.
Go for
Well,
it.
yeah, whenever you get a bunch of musicians together, over a beer or something, everyone probably wonders why all we talk about is road stories because that's about all we've got, and we've got some really good ones. So
Yeah,
after we
yeah.
talked last, I got put on John Party's world tour, and we did the entire Pacific Northwest and West Coast, even all the way back to Montana, Idaho, and Washington, Oregon, just everywhere with John. It was my first time playing arenas. So I was looking at it when we got the call, and I was like, I don't have a bus. At the time, I didn't even have a van. All I had was a
Wow.
crew cab truck. And I was like, man, I got to make this work somehow because I can't turn this opportunity down. I had to advance all my own
Nice.
shows. I had to handle all the communication via emails with production managers and like just crazy stuff that I had no idea how to do. I was just figuring it
Wow.
out as I went.
Yeah.
And I remember we were playing in Savannah, Georgia at Saddlebags. And we
Fun.
played Saddlebags. And the next week we were in Billings, Montana. I bought a camper shell for my truck so that we could put our gear in the back of it instead
Wow.
of pulling a trailer. It was February, and I hauled a 4-piece band and all of our backline gear and merch in the bed of my truck with a camper shell. We drove all the way to Billings, Montana. Took us 2 days. Played the first show. Had one day to get from Billings, Montana, to Abbotsford, British Columbia, which is basically Vancouver.
Far.
It's north of
Yeah.
Seattle on
Far
the
away.
Pacific coast
Yeah.
there. And in
My
one
gosh.
day, we hit 2 winter storms, drove 16 and a half hours crossing the crazy mountains of the Rockies and the Cascades. And my truck actually broke down that night, which turned into a crazy story of getting to the show in Abbotsford, British Columbia. Then I got my truck fixed, and it's just crazy. So, John Party, Ashley McBride, her tour is just incredible. I was just with her again up in Paducah, Kentucky. I love Ashley so much. We did some stuff with Parker McCullum. We've been on the Josh Turner tour this year, which has been incredible. We were just out on the West Coast for a week with him. I'm trying to remember who all. I can't. We did Gavin Adcock's tour. We were out with Gavin Adcock
Yes.
for, I can't remember, like 12 dates, I think, on his tour, which was insane. It was the last leg of the tour. And so it was, Gavin's blown up so fast. We were playing, every show was sold out. So we were playing theaters, but it was like club theaters, like the Fillmores and all of that. And we hit the entire East Coast. We were in Cleveland. We were in Detroit. We were all over the map with Gavin and his crew, which was awesome. They're great. Their whole band and everyone is just incredible. It was a great hang. So you're seeing these venues packed to the max because he was getting ready to move into such bigger venues, and the energy was incredible. So, yeah, we've been really busy, on top of writing when I'm home, being a dad, recording music, and getting all this stuff out there for people. It's a lot.
My goodness. Well, and
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to tell the listeners because now I think I can finally say it. You're
Yeah.
going to give us a little taste of something that you've been working on or something that you
Yeah.
released hey, puppy
Oh,
dog. Well,
that's the guard dog, Bonnie, who's our miniature wiener dog that we have. She's pretty mean. Pretty
isn't
mean.
that funny though? Like all the
Yeah.
little dogs are the ones
Oh,
that are just feisty.
she,
Hey, darling.
she's not scared. Say hey to everybody.
Hey,
This is
hey,
Everly K.
hey, Everly. You are so cute. Look at you.
Yeah, she's a wild
Oh my
child,
gosh.
buddy.
I got a couple of those too. Couple of
Yeah,
wild
but
children.
yeah, I'm gonna definitely give a taste for the next single that we have planned coming
Oh my
up.
gosh, so exciting. Okay,
Yeah,
listeners out there, before Will starts to play, if you aren't currently following Will Jones on social media or streaming his music, go find him at Will Jones Official on Instagram. You can probably just
that's
search
right.
him up on any digital streaming platform to hear Come On In, his most recent single. Lonesome Dove, the single before that. My Country Showing is the single before that. He's
Yep.
got tons of awesome music. Can't wait to hear more. And thank you so much for hopping on the episode, and I can't wait to hear what you're about to share with us.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
it. And also wanted to tell everyone we've been integrated into a lot of this content we've been doing for everyone. We've been doing vlog style contents of our day to day on the road. So if anyone wants to ever know what we're up to when we're on the road every day, we're usually being super stupid and having a great time. But you can follow along with it's the Ride With Me series. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's literally vlog style. It's super hilarious, and it will let you in on all the behind the scenes stuff that we're really doing when we're on the road, when you see us at all these shows and everything. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And my next single happens to be a song called "Ride With Me," which I'm really excited about, and I'll do a piece of it for you here, or we'll just sing the whole thing if that's
Whatever you'd like to do. I'm just going to let you take the
Yeah.
mic, brother.
I can already tell your smile will travel well down the road free and easy. I see that Tennessee sunrise coming up in your blue eyes, driving across that Mississippi. I can ride with you wherever, if you're thinking you might ever wanna be somebody's modern day Bobby McGee. Dive bars and rodeos, chasing the radio, I can always ride with you, but can you ride with me? That'll give y'all a little taste
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
next one. Yeah,
I love
really,
that. I love it.
it's really
Uh,
fun, and it takes you along for how we feel whenever we've got a life on the road and our wife and kids at home, and
yeah.
kind of how we feel about all of that. I think it's gonna be great for everyone to hear that next song. I'm really excited about it, and I
I'm
wrote
gonna.
that with a couple of absolute
Yeah.
legends as well. I'm just really proud of it. So Mark Nessler and
Is
Tony
it?
Martin. If
Yeah.
anybody's a fan of like Tim McGraw, or any of the big songs they've heard that those two guys have written, I think this song embodies a lot of that stuff. So I'm really excited about it.
I'm gonna nerd out just a little bit on that
Sure.
seventh chord introduction right there. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, I
got a
love
little
that.
it's a little I don't know how to put it, but it's got a little it's cool. I like it.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing that with us. I
Yeah.
know the listeners are going to love that as much as I love all of your music that you have out
Thank
so
you.
far. So thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy your family this weekend and have some
Yeah.
fun on your time off.
Yeah, we'll have fun, and I appreciate you as always too for all the support. We
Absolutely.
couldn't do it without people like you. So anytime, and I'm glad to talk with you again. It's been a while. We'll have to do it again.
Yes, absolutely. We'll catch up again. All
Yeah.
right. And y'all heard it here with me, Leigh, on Coda Country Catchup. Thanks so much, Will. You have a good one.
Yes, you too. See ya.